Hi, welcome to Dice Control Dojo. I'm Phil and I practice every day, share my tips so we can all get better at the casino. We're talking about my consistency series. I'm trying to get back to being consistent, and today we're talking about the turn. So the last video was about the pickup, right? On making sure that the grip was right? And I working hard to make sure that the pickup is going. I've been using a ton of grips and then just not even paying attention to the throw. Today we're going to talk about the last few days of me just focusing on the turn. And if you don't know what the turn is, again, you can go back and look at my videos on how to get to a good consistent turn. But I'm going to move on from that and show you my turn when we're talking about the grip and rip series. So I've been gripping and making sure I've had a consistent, and then I've not been worried about the throw. I want my muscle memory to get there. So I've been, just throwing, but not paying attention to that. I'm not throwing my 36 after my practice. I'm just focusing on getting back to consistent things and not worried about the numbers, because the numbers are lying to me. I'm doing well, but I want a consistent throw. So the first few days, and we're talking about if you want to go to Vegas in a couple weeks, this is the first week of that practice that I would do. And that is getting your grip right for a few days or one day. And then your next video, if you're watching this, getting your turn right. So the turn is going from the grip, and bringing it in. All right. Now I've changed mine up a little bit because I'm trying to get the dice over here. So what I'm trying to do is when they hand me the dice, instead of it being up here that I've been reaching up so that I can come across, I've been trying to get it at an angle like this. And I'm going to try and consistently grab the dice at this angle to bring it in underneath. So I keep that movement very minimal. Okay? The importance of this turn is to keep your wrist nice and relaxed. What I was doing before is I was gripping, I was trying to loose grip, but when I turned it, I was stiffening up right here and making this very stiff, and I'm trying to stay relaxed. So by doing that, a nice relaxed grip, making sure you're consistently gripping it the same way each time, then it's, instead of this big twisty move, I've been just kind of moving it down so that it comes across like this. Do you see how my hand is nice and relaxed, right? I'm doing a minor grip pickup, and it's not really, if I keep my body facing that way a little bit, I'm not doing a big twist, and this is a nice and relaxed. Now I'm very relaxed. I can feel my relaxation. I can feel it. It's coming across there nice and easy. So I've been trying to practice that and make sure that my hand is gripping and coming across. I'm saving myself a millisecond too by just this short takeover. And then once you do the turn, right, this is when my head is going to come over on top of these dice, right? I'm looking straight down. I'm nice and relaxed. This wrist is nice and relaxed. I can let this go. It's just barely touching. I should be able to just let this go with just very little pressure. I'm keeping my C consistent, or my circle, and I'm able to, if somebody came by on this turn, and I'm like this, and they go like this, they should be able to release it nice and easy. It should be able to settle down nice, consistent. I have my ledge created, and then my finger pressures on top. So when you're gripping your turn and you're coming across, you're relaxing, right? And it should just be, you're making sure I'm using my pinky to push these three together so they're consistent. And I have a nice consistent ledge underneath my dice that's holding onto that dice on this side with my thumb on this side. And I'm creating that C, or that circle, right underneath there. And I'm making sure that when I'm looking down at these dice, I'm looking down at that diagonal angle. I'm not looking at it square. I'm looking at a diagonal. That's how I'm doing my new grip now. So this is taking it to try and relax the wrist. My thoughts are the relaxing of the wrists is where you're going to get that inconsistency. But if I can make sure that I practice it enough, making sure my shoulders are aligned. So all this thing has been is starting over with a few days of the grip practice, now moving into the turn practice. Now once I do that, I'm not paying attention to the throw. I'm just trying to get the consistency and then start working on my upper body on muscle memory. But the muscle memory here is a consistently thinking about the relaxation of my fingers and making sure they're consistently relaxed. And I'm just thinking about that right now. I'm just going through thinking about relaxing those fingers there so that when I do throw them, they release the same. All right. So the turn, when I say 80% of it is the grip and the turn together is 85% of the action here. This part at the end is 15% because everything should already be where it needs to be. That 15% is getting your major muscle group muscle memory, which you can get back a lot easier than the fine motor skill energy that you're trying to create here. So the grip is a nice relaxed grip, and that turn for me is just a very simple relaxed pace, making sure my muscles are nice and relaxed so that when I do throw, they come off of the dice, off of my ledge with my thumb, and there the centrifugal force is taking it. My grip and turn is created that atmosphere for the dice with them just releasing, not me forcing or pushing. And I have to get that consistent. So for the last few days, all I've been doing, not worrying about the muscle, the throw, I'm just worried about getting that grip right and getting my turn right. Relaxing, just making sure I can drop them and they're coming out of my hands the exact same way each and every time. So once again, I'm not worried about the numbers or the throw or where they go. For the last few days, it's been consistently just making sure I'm able to pick this up and do this. Relaxing, almost letting go of those dice. Then getting your muscles to understand the throw. Okay? So if you're starting off again, I would work this into the different parts. So if you're doing the first week to get yourself back on track, you've got to put some deliberate practice in the grip, deliberate practice in the turn. It can't just be you coming in like, oh, I gotta go. I have to go to Vegas, so I'm just gonna start practicing, get my SRR, start doing things. You can't. You gotta start from scratch, build that situation up, have a plan for it. My plan for this consistency series is I've worked the grip. Now I've worked my turn. I'm gonna work on my back throw. I'm gonna work on relaxing on the throw. and then the throw. And then the next week is going to be all about the practice. Now I'm going to be practicing consistently, doing some tracking and see what I'm doing, and then adjusting my practice each day until we get to that 2 weeks is up, adapting on what's going wrong and making sure I have a plan for the next day, the next day, the next day, so that when I get to Vegas or when I get to Atlantic City, I have a very consistent throw. So this is part 2 of my series. I hope to join me next time where we're going to talk about the back throw. Like, what is that going to look like? And how am I going to do that to get that consistent? Because I've changed it a little bit. So I don't talk about betting strategies, obviously. All of my dedicated videos are only about practice on dice control. And I know that if you practice the right way, you're going to throw for a long, long time.